control of the films, and we can control like the narrative of the story to know like, because I feel like all the movies that have been produced, a lot of them do just talk about just how we were slaves. They don't talk about how we had so much power and how we started our own businesses and like all the good stuff about it.
And guess what? You're exactly right. I'm glad you segued into that way of thinking, because I had to check myself a little while ago. I was like, I'm gonna quit saying, she was born a slave, because sometimes your mind, your wisdom get tricked. She was born into slavery, but she wasn't a slave, because she never was a slave. In her mind, she was free because she did the things that she wanted to do or needed to do throughout her life. When you read the story about it, and she didn't run away from slavery. She wasn't a runaway slave. She walked away feeling that was her right, because nobody told her she couldn't walk away. And she walked away with Sophie, her youngest child, which is my lineage, my line, to her, because she had, 5 kids and one was stillborn. And that's the biggest misconception that they have with her too, when people say she bore 13 children and You heard Oprah Winfrey say, and you heard a lot of other famous women quote that and say that she bore 13 children, but her mother bore 13 children. She was speaking about her mother, not herself.
Right.
She only had 5, and one was a stillborn. So it's little details like that people, even famous people, mess up, because they just, and I understand they're just trying to be empowering and enlightening and all that, but I'm coming with the facts. I can't be a descendant of truth telling lies.
Facts.
So
I think people will respect that is authentic and genuine, that you coming with the real truth, and a lot of people don't even know. So
they don't know.
It'll just clear up a lot of stuff. Exactly how long have you been working on it? Like you said, you talked
5.5
talked to somebody, okay. And then involved are you exactly with the film? Like as far as, is it just more on the executive side, or are you like actually starring in the film at all?
Both. Ooh. Then I got my cousin. I brought I'm like the last of a dying breed when it comes to respect and honor, which we trying to implement once again to the youth. That's why I'm coming with this program, to just instill. It's almost like how the Wu-Tang is. That's why I love the Wu-Tang so much, because their values. It's a value system. It's a system to it. Loyalty, respect, honor, trust, all that. Because without that, you have no structure. So when I got wind that it was gonna go down, we was about to make this move, I came back to the family speaker. He's my elder. Then I came back to the family historian. Yeah, to bless them. They also involved too. Paperwork involved, everything, contractual agreements, lawyers, everything.
Do you have any acting experience, or is this just something that?
None. And I don't even care to be in the movie. They just want me to be in the movie, because it's like they want the descendants involved. Now the director, he could have produced this movie without any of the family consent, but like as he's learned throughout all the experiences we had out of all the last 5.5 years, he learned that it's a value. It adds value to the family, to involve the family and have the family decision.
It makes it authentic.
Right.
As well. What advice could you give to someone looking to create a film or a project like this?
I can give them some real good advice, because this idea started. This is just how it happened, rather. It started, well, the content was there. So the content of the ideal created the drive and made it like undeniable that we could do this, because who could deny her? So that's the product. Good. That's a good product to start with. So if you got a good product to start with, then from there, what we did was we literally jumped on a plane. They shot out from Detroit. I shot out from Grand Rapids. We knew that it was the SAG Awards was happening. Now the SAG Awards is where all the actors and actresses and everybody meet up, like the Emmy Awards, but they're all there to get, awards for whatever different. So we figured it'd be a great opportunity to run into some producers, actors, actresses, whatever, to try to pitch this idea to them. So we met up out in Cali. And I remember, I'll never forget, the Felix the Cat was the landmark that we was meeting up at. They were at a restaurant by Felix the Cat landmark. And I got off, I landed, took a shuttle bus to that spot, and I ate, because they already finished eating. I ate, and then we walked up out of the restaurant. As soon as we walked out of the restaurant, we ran into a black woman who was waiting for her car to be valet, and the restaurant was right by the award show, when it kind of spiraled into what it is now. But that was the first initial thing we did to get where we at now. You got to execute. I tell anybody, whatever you're doing, you got to execute, you know. And I used to speak like that, me and my friends. Shout out to Heavy Game, Gorilla Grind, Boots, Robinson. That's my boy too. And we Otto Hills alumni, and we used to stand in the mall and look out the window every lunch period, and we used to have conversations like, man, how can the human use a greater percentage of their brain? You know, we used to philosophize like
Real
that.
Intellectual conversation.
Yeah, in high school, 11th, 12th grade, you know, just, yeah. So my thing was, it's simple. I mean, it ain't simple, but it can be if you just, I said, if you eliminate all the negative out of your mind and just allow the positives to fester, then that's one way you're using the greater percentage, you know, because you're eliminating the negative to increase the positive. You know, negative and positive is what makes a battery run. So there's got to be some level of a negative charge to influence the positive. You know?
That makes sense.
So, yeah, you know.
From the Sojourner Truth project, could you maybe elaborate on your business and what it entails? This one right here.
Okay, that actually, now, Top Notch Kids is a division of Descendants of the Truth, which is my nonprofit.
Gotcha.
Descendants of the Truth is the nonprofit that encompasses everything Sojourner Truth. And
Gotcha, so that's the same thing.
Right, it's the same thing. But my Top Notch Home Improvements business is separate from that.
Completely separate, okay.
But I was inspired with the Top Notch Kids program from the Stop the Violence movement that we had. We created in 1988 when we lost a friend to gun violence, one of our close friends, Charles Gap Sands, and he was murdered on Madison somewhere at a club. But yeah, so we started the Stop the Violence movement and did that for about 15 years, 20 years, and got a little funding from different corporations, but it didn't last because, you know, we lost funding and people was getting killed and, you know, locked up, and it kind of got dissolved. But this is the rebirth of that, you know. Gotcha. So I wanted to bring it back in a different capacity to try to be more effective, try to draw in the attention of city officials and family and friends, people who want to get involved. Now, I haven't received any donations from nobody so far. I mean, well, say about $150 worth as far as me campaigning and promoting, but which is cool because I don't necessarily like need to get $1 million from anybody. It's the idea that I'm selling.
Right.
The idea is to rethink the gun. You know what I'm saying?
To retrain.
Yeah, retrain their mind, because the gun is synonymous to cartoons, action movies, video games. You know, it's all part of the American culture.
Right.